morning and welcome to Peace Out, where we are all learning together to peace out. And I'm practicing a lot right now, right? So I hope you're having plenty of opportunities. I was talking to a friend the other day and told him that every morning on here I say we have lots of opportunities to just peace out. We can look at those situations in our lives that are coming at us and trying to envelop our thoughts and stuff and take them as opportunities to learn to trust God. Maybe we'll piece out a little bit easier. Sometimes maybe we won't. But we'll keep trying. We'll keep trying until we get it, right? There's no shame in trying. So this morning I got a weird story I want to read. I don't even know how I got here. I started in Isaiah or somewhere. I started in Psalm 119 because that's where my little bookmark, one I made, the little bookmark was. And so that's where I started reading there. And somehow I got over to John 5. Oh, nope, it's Mark 5, excuse me. And this is a story about how Jesus healed a man who was demon possessed. Now we don't talk about that kind of stuff much, right? Because it's out there and we don't always understand it and not sure how to deal with it. So we don't talk about it a lot. But I want to talk about it a little bit because I have a different thing I want to focus on that was kind of interesting to me. Okay, so the dude is demon possessed. Now he had a mom, obviously. He was alive, right? He might have had siblings. We don't know anything about his backstory. He could have even had a wife and kids at home. We don't know. We just know the man has been run out of the city because he's trying to hurt himself. He's screaming. He's out of control. He's like the worst movie you've ever seen about it. He is probably the person they used to cast it, right? Because he was the example of somebody that had lost everything. He's half naked, all of that. So Jesus comes up, and the demons in the man know who Jesus is. And so they said, "Don't torment us." And Jesus is like, "Just get out of him." And they like, "Where can we go?" And he goes, "Go to the pigs." The pigs jumped off the cliff and killed themselves, basically, when the demons went into them, right? When we interact with demon activity, it's always going to bring destruction. It's always going to bring the opposite of peace, right? So anyway, the herdsmen go back to town, and they're like, they say, "Look what happened. This dude gets out of a boat. He comes up, and the man's okay." The crowd comes back to where Jesus and the man are. Now the man is now clothed. Thank you. Right? He is in his right mind. It doesn't say they were scared when they saw Jesus. It says when they saw him, it said a crowd gathered around Jesus, but they were frightened when they saw the man who had been demon possessed, for he was sitting there fully clothed and perfectly sane. It scared them. Why would you be scared? They weren't scared of him before? I've got a lot of questions here. It wasn't the Jesus standing there, the Messiah, the Son of God standing there that scared them. It was seeing the man who had been so crazy and so lost they thought nothing could help him, perfectly fine, clothed, in his right mind, holding a conversation. That scared them. How did that scare them? I don't get that, right? But then they told Jesus that they wanted him to go away, right? He said, "What happened to the demons? I don't know." That's a very good question, Alicia. What happened to the demons when the pigs died? I'm assuming they went back to hell where they're supposed to go because they didn't say there where Jesus was because he sent them away, right? I don't know. There's a lot of philosophy around those things. Yeah, but in some ways we could say the pigs were smarter than humans because they didn't entertain them. They said, "Nope, we're out of here," right? But anyway, that's a really good thought though to chase, but I don't know the answer to it. I really don't, which is great. That's why it's a great question. So, but anyway, so they were scared of Jesus when they saw the man in his right mind, and they told Jesus to leave. They told him to leave. It says that when Jesus got back in the boat, he told the man who had been demon possessed wanted to travel with him, and Jesus said, "No, go home and tell your friends and tell your neighbors and tell everybody what God did for you." So he's now commissioning this guy that he set all these demons out of. He's commissioning him to go share the good news before before he's even sending his disciples out, right? He's sending him back and going, "Tell them what God did for you." That's the whole, that's just how simple it is to share the gospel. Just say what God's doing for you, right? Now imagine the scene. When the guy comes home, though, does his mom, do they even recognize him? Because he's been so deranged. He's been so crazy for, we don't know how long. It could have been a day, could have been a week. Obviously, they knew who he was, knew the story, the backstory, and all that. But at some point, he had a normal life. At some point, he had had a job. At some point, it says, tell your friends, tell those that you know what God has done for you, right? And so then he's like, so the man goes back, and but here's the saddest part of this story is the people told Jesus to go away. Why? He brought this man peace. Talk about peace. This dude all of a sudden had peace, and everybody knew it, but they told Jesus to go away. It said that they said, "Go away and leave." It said the crowd began pleading with Jesus to go away and leave them alone. That is one of the saddest verses in the Bible to me. I think they had become accustomed to the chaos. And sometimes in life, when we live from one chaotic moment to the next, right? And we don't know how to handle it when we have peace. Honestly, sometimes people create chaos because it wasn't chaotic enough. And they live from one chaotic moment to another, and that's how they keep their energy up. How they get their thrill in life, so to speak, is just, ooh, it's always chaotic. Instead of embracing the peacemaker, the Prince of Peace, they said, go away. We don't want peace. We don't want to see you set people free and give them peace. Is that not the craziest thing? But don't we sometimes get so used to the chaos that we don't know what to do with the peace? The peace almost unsettles us because we're like, oh, this is weird, right? But today, I don't want to be like those people. I want to be like the man he set free. It's saying, let me in the boat with you. I want to go with you. I want to stay with you. And Jesus told him no. Jesus said, no, go tell everyone what I did for you. Go tell everyone your story. Go tell them your testimony. And what a testimony of peace. I was crazy. I was hurting myself. I was disrobed in front of people. They ran me out of the city. I lived in the tombs. Ew. And now I'm home because Jesus gave me peace. Jesus removed the demons and demonic activity from me, and now I can think clearly. Now I can actually get dressed. I'm in my right mind. Imagine filling out a job application. What have you been doing the last 10 years? Not working, right? He had a hard time, but he could go back and get a job. He could go back and have a normal life. He went home to friends and to family that knew him. The whole town knew who he was. He went home to all of that. The chaos was gone in his brain. He had total peace, and he accepted Christ at that point as the Son of God, as far as we can tell. Right? He was like, "Let me go with you," because he was so grateful that God gave him peace in a very, very chaotic mind and heart and life that he was living. And if God can do that, Jesus can do that for this man. Surely he can handle our peace too. We're not living in the tombs and the cemeteries. We're not running around naked. Please don't. Put some clothes on, Ethel. Right? We're not running around naked. We're not in this dire of circumstance. If God can give him peace, and he accepted it and was going to go walk in it and live in it and enjoy a life now free from all of the chaos and crazy stuff, how much more can God give us peace in the craziness of our life? There's nothing to compare to what this man was going through. But can we not be like the people in the town that said they were scared when they saw the peace on the man? They didn't say they were scared of him before. I mean, I'm sure they were. They sent him out of town, but they were scared when they saw him whole. They were scared when they saw him well. I don't want that kind of peace. Why wouldn't they walk up to him and go, what in the world happened to you, man? You looking good now. Come on over for supper, man. Let's talk about what happened. They weren't scared of Jesus. They were scared of what he did for this man that they had got used to seeing in chaos and in upheaval and in everything but peace. And all of a sudden the man has peace. That's the kind of peace-giving God we serve. If he could speak peace into this situation, he can speak peace into my situations. He can speak peace into your situations. We just got to accept it. We got to take it just like this guy did. He could have just stayed that way, I guess. but he accepted it. He walked in, then he obeyed Jesus. He went back and began to tell his friends and family, look what God has done. That was a really popular song in the 80s, by the way. Look what the Lord has done, right? So did he go singing? Did he go dancing? Did he try to wrap his mind around what had just happened? How crazy it is for that chaos to just be gone. And I have to say that that's a moment where we go, what's going on? And the chaos is gone. And sometimes we don't know what to do with it because we're used to the chaos. But we should be the Jesus, so to speak, that walks in with the peace in the middle of the chaos and says, it's all good. It's all good. God's got this too. And that's how we're going to peace out. Peace out, you guys. Have a great day. See you again tomorrow.